Welcome, welcome, welcome to the New World Compendium, your source of information, as always, here in Eternum. I am your host, Arkaniir Silver Shield, and we are back with a full crew after missing Sivian last episode. And we got a full episode today. We got a lot of things to discuss, some controversies, you get the word. But before we get into all that, gotta introduce my amazing co-host, starting with the real-life woodworker himself, Stormzlord. How's it going, Storms?
It's doing good, Ark. It's going good. How about yourself?
Going great, going great. Looking forward to discussing the topics that we are going to get into.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Also joining us, the radio voice on the show, the governor of the NA company Hands Off Fate, Sivian himself. How's it going, Sivian?
Good, doing good. Sorry I missed last week, but I was able to watch it. You guys did a great show.
I mean, you were still joining us from the chat, so that was nice. It's always good to have your input as well on things, even if you didn't make it to the audio part of things. But yeah, so we are gonna keep the banter short this week because there is a lot to discuss, lot to cover. Yeah, so Amazon went ahead and did something controversial again this week too. And that is the server transfer updates. There's a lot details, yes. So and it's a deep topic. So before we get into that, I kind of want to touch on a couple things. So the first thing is, a lot of people were unable to log in to the game or even launch the game this past week, and that is due to an issue that they encountered with the Steam's EAC, the easy anti-cheat system.
I was one of them.
You were? Oh no. So what happened exactly? Like, what did you... What happened?
So I was in game. I've been in game for a little while. Long story short, I had to get dinner ready for the wife and kids. So I logged out. And it was a couple hours later, I went to log back in. And I kept getting a error code. I can't remember exactly what it was. But it would say, you know, failure to launch. Then it would, another error code would pop up, and it would say like easy anti-cheat, batch 64 dot something or other. And I was like, okay. So simple, you know, trial and error, right? Restart your computer. Storms was in chat as well. Hard restart on Steam, nothing. So I jumped into the Amazon Discord and they were talking about copying text files and taking them over to the command files and revert. I was like, I'm just gonna let them try and work this out. So. But it was a lot of different things going on. I can't confirm anything, but what some of the rumor mill was that when they did the update, Steam did the update, they didn't whitelist possibly the easy anti-cheat for New World. Because I'm also in the open beta for Battlefield, and that uses easy anti-cheat, and that was playable. So
right,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so it's I guess it's a new system or something, or it's I don't know whose fault it is. Is it on Amazon's side or Steam side? Could be possible, but basically, if you are unable to log into the game, there is a sort of they say it's kind of fixed. Or they're working on a fix, but
kind of fixed.
It's kind of.
Steam rolled back their update, so it's fixed.
Yeah.
So if you're still unable to log in, what you can do is there's a post about it on the forums, but you can go to the local files of your game, basically from Steam, right-click the game, say manage, browse local files, find easy anti-cheat, and run the setup again and repair it. Basically, that's one way to do it. Or you can try to verify your game files through Steam. That also seems to be an option. And if those don't work, I don't know, this is the information we have. If anybody knows a way around this, if this issue is persisting, and if you know these workarounds don't work, let us know in wherever you are listening to this, on Twitter, on our Discord, and we can relay that to people who are experiencing this issue. So that was one thing. Another thing is, the game, New World got its first update, 101. They are calling them updates, although I feel like I should call them patches. Same thing, whatever. And there's been a lot of fixes. there's been some adjustments and things like that. Mainly, the main topic is AFK Prevention. See, it's been last episode, someone in chat, I can't remember their name, but someone in chat asked us, like, do you know if Amazon is about to do something about, you know, people just running into walls, auto-running or whatever, to prevent from getting kicked from the game? And we were like, I don't know, you know, I guess not, because the issue is will probably be isolated to the first couple of weeks of the game, you know. Like a few hours after we recorded the show, Amazon announced that, yeah, they are going to do something about the AFK prevention. And they are rolling out, or rather with the last update, they did roll out a new system that they say will detect people who are avoiding the AFK detection.
If you just AFK, you're fine. If you're just standing there and you AFK, you're fine. But if they determine that you are actively trying to circumvent it going AFK, then there will potentially be repercussions. Yes.
So they said initially you'll just get kicked, but if the offense continues, like if you keep doing it, there will be, you know, different actions taken. Now,
did they mention anything like it with having offenses within a certain time frame?
No,
I don't believe so.
The entire thing was super vague. All they said was, like, the people who are playing the game normally will not get affected by this. And I got into a lot of arguments on Twitter because I dared say something. So I said on Twitter, this is not well communicated. You know, this is very vague. You need to communicate this better, and you need to tell people what constitutes avoiding AFK detection. Because in my head, I immediately start thinking about a lot of scenarios. For example, we are about to do a PvP event, right? And we say, okay, everybody gather at whatever gate of Cutlass Keys. That can take upwards of 30 minutes of waiting around for people to gather because people are slow. And in that time, I am not doing anything. I am maybe just moving my mouse to not get kicked while talking to people on Discord to gather everyone together, planning what we are doing, things like that. So the way the message, the post about this was vague means that could count as AFK prevention. So I brought this up on Twitter and people were like, you want people to run into walls for 50 minutes and just don't get kicked out of it. I'm like, I'm not saying that. I am saying if this is not implemented properly, this can result in people who are not avoiding AFK get kicked or banned for no reason. The automated systems in games like these suck. Because I've been there, both as a developer and as a player. These systems never really work well. And yeah, people got upset, and apparently I was one of the people who are auto-running into walls, and I wanted people to auto-run into walls. And somehow this AFK prevention thing was magically going to solve 10,000 people trying to log into a single server. But yeah, so they are doing something about it. We don't know what it is exactly. It just says, added additional AFK prevention to ensure players cannot fool the existing system with simulated mouse movement.
Yep.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Have your outside program move the mouse for you.
I wouldn't put it past somebody to have, I probably just shouldn't even say, somebody will do it, an oscillating fan attached to the mouse, just moving the mouse back and forth.
Yeah, how are they going to detect me moving my mouse versus someone using a macro to use the mouse, though? That's the thing.
They probably have some algorithm that is timing everything so that if the movements are the same exact movements at the same exact time, at the same exact intervals.
You can just randomize that. All I'm saying is, this system is either not going to work well as advertised, or it's going to detect innocent people as well, because that's how things work.
Yeah.
It's either going to be phenomenal and do both. I mean, think about it. Once you have this, you could package it and sell it.
Wait.
Right? Just like EAC, but once you have this in the right format, if it's separate enough, you could package it and sell it.
Well, I mean, they came up with this like within the span of a day and a half after the queues went insane. So I don't expect it to be phenomenal for a while. So far, I haven't gotten kicked or get banned or anything. So I guess it's not doing too terrible. But yeah.
Just think about it. They have Lumberyard, right?
Yeah.
They're using Lumberyard, right? So they're going to, I can't guarantee it, but they're going to turn this into something that either is a part of their package, or they're going to sell it as a sub to it, right?
Yeah.
You could put this in, but now they didn't know it ahead of time, but now they go, wait a minute, this is a good idea. Somebody's going to say, let's package it together.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not against it. All I'm saying is I'm all for it. You know, if people are avoiding AFK deliberately, kick them, ban them, whatever. I don't care. I've been one of the people who were waiting hours in the queue as well, so I'm okay with the idea.
But we don't have to worry about that because you can't region transfer.
Yeah, see,
you can't even transfer to a full server.
All right, segue.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing, man.
Okay, so that brings us...
Segue?
Yeah, kind of forcefully.
Honestly, though, I'll let you go into it.
No, it's okay. It's okay, because that's the main thing that we are going to talk about today. And I see that, Spanky in chat brought it up as well. I like how they can spend development time on an anti-AFK system out of nowhere, yet no cross-region transfers with world-locked character names. And that's our main issue today. So a while back, when the queue times went insane and no one was able to log into the game, Amazon said, okay, we are rolling out a whole bunch of new servers. So for now, just join those servers. Just find a place where you can play, because we are going to give everybody the option to server transfer for free anywhere you want later on within the next 2 weeks. And everybody was like, okay, yeah, cool. Let's do that then. Let's just
honestly, great idea.
It was a great idea, just to spread out that initial balance load problem of the servers. It was a perfect idea. And everyone was like, that sounds great. Instead of waiting in a queue for 10 hours, I'm going to go find this absolutely empty server in a different region. I don't know, like if I'm going to play on US East, but the empty servers are on US West, I'm going to go US West. So they just dispersed, My own brother is playing in a different server. Some of our company members who got to join the game late, they're on a different server. Some people I saw on Twitter, they are on different regions because it was a good idea. And we got an update just yesterday about how the server transfer is going to work. And without going into the details, there are some controversial problems with this. Where can I move my character to? You can move your character to any world in your region, except you cannot move your character to a full world. You cannot move your character to a world in maintenance. You cannot move your character to a world set that you have an existing character in already. That's fine. So we can only move characters within our region, and we can only move characters to a world that is not full. This defeats
you can move from a dead server
to another dead
server, right? So, but effectively a dead server to another dead server.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you cannot join your friends.
Server, right?
And did we not just get an update where they increased server cap?
A little bit, yeah. It looks like it's like 2,250 right now. So not too much, but...
Did they do, what is it again?
2,250.
Okay.
So
my thing is, and they say that they are reviewing, so I guess we should rewind back to the original statement, right? The original statement I have from Amazon. I have a photo of it somewhere.
I brought it up, actually. If you want, I can just read it.
Okay, yeah. So where was it? If you want to go through that.
Yeah. Okay. To ensure everyone, this is one of the statements. To ensure everyone can find an open world now, while also finding a home in Eternum with their community long-term, we'll offer an opportunity in the next 2 weeks for all players to relocate their characters to a new server of their choice at no cost. So that was the first statement. Then another statement.
Amazon.
End quote Amazon. Second quote. We encourage you to seek those servers out and get playing. Okay, if you're a player logging in for the first time, 40% of our live servers have low or no wait times. We encourage you to seek those servers out and get playing. We are also working hard on a feature that will allow you to transfer your characters to a different server. So if you chose one now just to get up and playing, you can make a different choice later to play on a server with your friends. Our goal is to release this feature next week, blah, 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 end quote. And under this, within the replies, hold on, which one? I got so many things open.
Here's the only issue with that is that none of it's specific. You can transfer to a server of your choice. Sure. But
they'll restrict your choices.
It was perceived, right, that cool, you can go to any server you want. Awesome, this is great. Sure, you can play with your friends, but they got to transfer to the same server that you got to.
So under one of these tweets, sorry for cutting you off, Storms, but I just wanna. Will it be possible to switch from a US server to an EU one? Someone asked, and they replied, "Yes, you can move between regions if you want," which is not the case.
There's an error. Well, obviously they didn't talk to the database folks. Those teams didn't reach out, but. Yeah, Sivian's right. The first one is very vague and can be interpreted any way you want to interpret it. It's now they get to the real patch notes that like, it's no longer interpretable as any server that you choose. They said choice. They didn't say they weren't going to restrict the choices.
Yeah, there's no meat and potatoes to that statement, right?
It's still
like saying, am I going to be a millionaire? Idea. Sure, there's a good chance for you to be a millionaire.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It legit says you are going to be able to play with your friends. That entails, like, if you approach this from a lower side, like a low side, yes, they cannot be held accountable for this, it looks like. But that's not how game community running works, so...
I totally agree with you, Art. Absolutely.
So we are going to hold them accountable for this. It's...
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think
it's misleading.
So. It is.
Very misleading. So there was no queue when I joined the low light last night, and I joined at like 9:30. So
same on Friday, same on Thursday.
Either they've done something really well with this capping it at 2,500. You can't do a new character, or and I don't know what we can look on Steam to figure this out. Less people are playing because they can't transfer their characters. And they said, forget it. I'm just not gonna do this if I can't play on a different server that I want to play on.
So one reason I know why there are no queue times is because of that EAC problem. A lot of people weren't able to log in, so that kind of reduced the queue times. But that's also very possible, like, because people, I mean, if, for example, from the example of my brother, he is not an MMORPG person. He's got New World, because I'm in the game, his friends are in the game, we are all playing together. He joined, it was like, your server says full, I cannot create a character. I was like, just find a server, you'll be able to join later. And he's been leveling, he's been spending time, he's been leveling, he's been farming, because he's thinking he's going to be able to hop on. Because that's what we all were thinking. Now, there are so many scenarios that this thing will blow up on the face of Amazon that I don't think whoever's making these decisions isn't really thinking all the scenarios through. First things first, the reason they came up with the server full concept, that wasn't always there. They came up with that after all the servers ended up having a lot of queue times. So that's a temporary solution anyway. Why are you imposing that temporary solution on the future that was going to fix the problem that was causing you to have that temporary solution? That's like, that doesn't... You are blocking a solution to a random symptom. Well, how to say this? Basically, they got the loop wrong, okay? This server transfer was going to fix the issue of servers being maxed out, which was the reason they were declared as full in the first place anyway. Now, them being declared full is preventing the solution from going through, which is stupid.
Well, what if everybody chooses the same world? How do you stop that?
What? Say again?
What if everybody chooses to go to low-light at this point? Or however you say it. What if 4,000 people,
locked, right? Exactly.
Right, 4,000 people that chat to the same server.
That's Exactly the second problem. That's exactly the second scenario. Imagine there's 200 spots on Loloi, right? Your server, before it's declared full. 3 companies consisting of 100 people each decides, okay, we are moving to Loloi because it's empty. They start transferring. Everybody starts transferring. Halfway through these 3 companies transfer, the server becomes full. So now half the people of 3 companies is in one server. The other half is in another server because the server became full midway through the company's transfer.
Well, Ark, that's if it's a live update on whether they deem them full or not. How often is that determined?
Well, if it's not live update, then there's no point anyway.
Right. What if all 4,000 just transfer over? Now you just created a new monster.
Yeah, exactly. Like, however you hold this, it does not help the problem because you are either live updating the full capacity thing, and that's gonna cause major communities to get cut off before their entire company is transferred to a server, or you are not updating this live, which will mean everybody is just gonna transfer to an empty server, and it's gonna have 7 million population anyway. So,
how was this solved before? This can't be the first game that had full servers that had a limitation to the server.
Well, this was solved from what I've seen in previous games is, first of all, by not having about 30% server capacity to your full player base at launch. Like, they always had queues, but not this limited. Secondly, they don't always just make super rush decisions about their solutions. Like, everybody knew this queue problem existed because it was the launch week and they had insufficient server capacity, like server count. And we all kind of knew that it was going to start balancing out in time, especially if they gave the server transfer. Like, people are going to go back to their regular lives. They are going to run out of vacation days. They are going to stop no-lifing the game 24/7.
Let's be honest, we know people that took time off for this game
exactly,
launch.
Yeah.
We all do.
So,
I mean, not going to call your names out, but yes.
Right.
So it was going to balance itself out anyway. And in a sort of like solution, what Amazon did was, okay, here are 100 more servers that you can play on.
That's no lie.
Yeah, we are preventing you from creating characters on the currently exploding servers for the time being as a temporary solution, because we don't want these servers to inflate even further. So you can go ahead, instead of creating even more queue times on these servers, go ahead and start playing elsewhere. You can join back later. And everybody was like, that's a good solution. Yeah. And now you cannot join your friends on those full servers. You cannot server transfer across regions, which, to be honest, it may have been just a community communication error. Because, as you said, they probably didn't communicate that well with the backend team. But they still said it. They should have. You know, that doesn't still excuse it. So yeah, it's an absolute mess now, and everybody's upset. And you know who's stuck in an absolutely random server out of all the people? Freaking Asmongold.
That's right. Of all content creators, the one that you get stuck.
This can't be the only game that's come across this problem. It seriously can't be, right?
I'm sure it's not.
How was it handled before, when you had people stuck on a server and you want to get them to a server where they want to be that it's full? This is just another, again, I should start a company, but this is a reason you need to have a launching company for games. Things like this you're going to see twice in a lifetime, 3 times, right? If you're a regular developer, regular team. But if you focus solely on launching games that first year or beginning of year -1 to 1, if you focus on that, you would know how to solve these problems ahead of time. But instead, game companies go up, let's start a brand new game, brand new team. They got to figure it out. Well, wait a minute. We've done this over and over and over and over 20 years now, 30 years. We should know how to deal with this as a community. How do you deal with this?
So Storms, does this all, and Arc as well, does this translate back to the world sets? Does this all go back to that? The reason...
That's another question.
The methodology behind that, right? So does EU have the same world sets as US?
No.
Right. Is that what is preventing us from region transferring?
I think that should be what's allowing us to do a proper region transfer, because everything is unique.
But
I think that was a decision.
The reason for the world sets is to keep everything independent, right? So there could be a Civian 21 on my world set and a Civian 21 on another world set.
No, there can't be.
It's world.
Because they made everything unique.
Global.
And we thought that this was the reason they made everything unique, so that we can transfer everywhere, because we are unique everywhere. That was the whole point.
I thought I saw something about the world sets being, yeah, fair enough. No.
Well, the world sets, they're clusters, right? That's what those are. It's a hardware setup causing that to happen. That's what that's about. But the question you have is, they can solve this one of two ways. You can have a world that has a lot more people. So 4,000 people, 8,000 people on a server. You'll never get things done with 8,000 people on a server. Somebody will always be waiting for the node you're waiting for, right? So you have a terrible game that way. So you got to go to instances, right? Like even at ESO and other games that have the region servers, like mega servers, right? They have instances within those as well.
Can you transfer regions there?
In ESO, no. In some
ESO,
games, yes.
Right, but you could. They don't want to do it.
Well, actually,
in this case, I think it's the same thing. I think they can. They're choosing not to.
Yeah. In ESO's case, I know they explained that they can't, because what ESO did was to not make anything unique across databases. So they do have duplicates. Yeah, ESO does have like same things ESO on console, US console, NA, EU, Xbox, NAU, PS4, Xbox, like NA. Yeah. Everything is duplicated on ESO, so they legit can't do a server transfer. What Amazon did, or at least we got the vibes that they did, because their names were globally locking and everything, and we weren't able to create characters on the same, server clusters. We thought they were making everything unique so that they can do server and regional transfers easily.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a world set thing where the data just, I don't know, if the data is locked to that world set and it's just a process or a pain to transfer. I don't know.
I mean, if they did
it's a combination of they're trying to make decisions. I don't think this is a technical problem.
Yeah. So Spanky in chat, makes a good point. He's also a developer.
Yeah.
Each region is running the same databases anyway, so data migration between regions are easy to set up. They don't want to create an API service to handle this, plain and simple. Which, I mean, it does kind of sound like it. Obviously, we don't know. Like, there may be a actual technical impossibility, but in our experience, that's not the case.
Dump it. You can dump it and load it. The very worst, right? Do a dump and load. Yeah, we'll change you, but it'll take a day. Right?
Yeah.
Storms, I wanted to go back to something real quick that you mentioned about the player count, right? The current player count. So at launch, we had 909,000 concurrent players. This is according to Steam count and Steam charts, right? The 24-hour peak, I should say, is 680,000.
There you go.
So it is roughly steadied out for the past 4 days it drops to 300,000 and peaks up to 700,000, 680.
So it is
looks like it's the same.
Yeah,
they made the right decision for the queues, but that's not the right decision for transferring people, because they'll cause problems with queues again.
Yeah. I mean, see,
so they got to choose one or the other, right?
Yeah.
They found a solution and they completely disregarded that solution, which is what I'm not like. I can't wrap my head around that. I mean, how do you expect people, if the servers are going to be pop locked forever, right? How do you expect an MMORPG to grow because one of the main marketing points of MMORPGs is people playing together with their friends. if I can't have, like, if I can't market this game to my friend or my brother, in this case, to, you know, okay, let's buy the game, join us, we'll play together, you know, we are doing this and that. Right now, it's like, oh yeah, buy the game. We are not going to be able to play together, but I'm sure you'll find people. That's a good way to bring your friends into the game.
Like, how does Conan handle it, right? Conan has even less people in a world than Amazon does.
Yeah, but is it persistent worlds with, like, isn't Conan is just a cluster of 1 billion small servers?
Yeah, but it's still the same. They chose to go the route of small servers, less people on a server. This one, they chose a large server, but not mega server. If they were expecting this size of numbers, they really should have chose the mega server route, not...
Yeah, but the gameplay, from a gameplay-wise, you can't have mega servers, because then you wouldn't be able to step outside of, I don't know, Everfall without running into 1,000 people.
Look at ESO. You have a mega server, right? But there are instances within that server.
Yeah, but ESO doesn't have any open world territory-based control. It's just static. Nothing changes in the world of ESO.
You still have instance servers because of that. You can have an instance, right, where you have, because if you look at the way when it loads in, you have the base world, you have things on top of it that change as it goes along, right? You know, yes, you have to worry about what instance that server is in. And if you have 5 instances of the same server, they all have to make that same change together.
Yeah, but then it would kill, as Spanky says in chat, it would kill world PvP. Like, even now, it is difficult to get into wars because it's just 50 versus 50, right? If you had...
Right. So how does that work? It's not a world PvP.
Yeah, but if you had 20,000 people in the server, then how do you handle wars? Because, say, in my instance, Everfall is Covenant. That will have to be Covenant in every instance of that mega server to maintain continuity. To maintain,
right? Absolutely, you're absolutely correct, right? So you wouldn't have one mega server for the U.S. East, right? You'd have 2 or 3 or 4, but you would have the same problem you have now. You have people who want to get into the wars who can't.
Yeah, but that would be even a bigger problem.
Oh, it would be. It would make it worse.
Like, there would be. Yeah, that's why you can't have mega servers. That's what I'm saying.
It's a choice. They're making a choice. You want to have the wars, which is great. I can't get into them, but that's great, right? You have then the choice of queues, or you have the choice of transfer. They're making choices between what problem they want to have.
Yeah, they're making but they didn't really have to have this problem, though. That's the thing. Like, at launch, yes, the problem was queue times, right? Because they launched with a lot less servers than they need. They underestimated how much hype the game had.
Oh, big time. Oh, yeah.
Okay, it can happen, whatever. They found a nice temporary solution to it, immediately launching a bunch of new servers. Okay, really good. And pop-locking servers that had insane queues, what I assume temporarily, so that people would join those new servers to start playing the game, so they would stop going onto Twitter and scream at people. Yeah. And then they found another solution to bring those people back together by server transfers. And then they went back on all of these and just dumped this entire chain of solutions by saying, yeah, you're only going to be able to transfer to an empty server.
That doesn't violate what they said. How do we know that's not where they started, right? If you think
but that
about
doesn't solve the issue.
Sure, it solves the issue. As much as you want to, you have to go to a different world. But then if the problem is we've got such a large entities of streamers, 2,000 people is not enough. It's not a big enough world to do what they're trying to do.
Yeah, and they were increasing the server cap as well while doing all of these.
They should, right? I think they should. They can get a little more set of people in there. The thing is, they're making choices to get you into the game, and they can't say everybody in a fan of whoever get into this server because there's not enough people in that server. There's enough room.
There's no space.
There's not enough space on their current setup. They have to make it 4,000 people on a server or more to do that, and that won't work either. So their success has got to make giving them a problem they have to figure out how to deal their best with. I don't like the way they did it, but I see why they did it.
Okay, but here's the thing. Preventing people from joining full servers is not going to solve this queue issue at all in the long run, because all the new people are going to dump on the empty servers anyway, and they are going to become like...
You're right.
So this doesn't solve anything, whereas it could have solved something. Is the issue like? And we all knew, even now, the game's load is balancing by itself before server transfers are becoming a thing or stuff like that. So it's not like everyone who wants to play with Asmongold is gonna no-life the game for the next 5 months. They're gonna realize, oh, okay, I'm in the same server with Asmongold, but I haven't seen him once. Or I'm spending 8 hours in the queue to play with Asmongold, but I never get to actually play. So it was going to balance itself out eventually. All they needed was a temporary solution, which they had, and then they dumped that
well, why can't we all decide in our guild to go to an empty server?
Because while you are going to an empty server, the pop cap might happen, and halfway through your company's transfer, the server could reach the full capacity, and now half of your company is stuck there, half of your company is stuck here.
That's the thing they're going to have to figure out, right? Is they're going to have to, and that's a very good point. They're going to have to figure out how to move folks across so you don't split groups of people. Is that possible? I don't know. I'm going to have to really think that one through. If they say, yep, you have so long to choose it, fine. But it's going to be, I want to see how they figure that one out.
You
they
mean is like if a company governor, right?
Yeah.
Moves. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, maybe what they do is they say that, you know what, we will move the company for you if you choose that. They haven't said that yet, but think of that one, right? Sure. What if they say we'll move a company, but the company, because what's the limit on a company now?
100.
Right. So we'll move this company together. We can say we can put 20 companies on a server. And when we get to, 18, we say, okay, stop. We can't put any more companies in.
Yeah.
See, what they're doing is you're right, The Rock. They're solving problems as they come up, not proactively thinking, okay, when we do this, somebody's going to think about what we're going to screw up by doing this and think of the next step. So instead of doing individual, they could do individual and company, and then you have your that would be okay. But that would mean a lot of planning, a lot of working. Right? So I don't know if they're going to do that either.
And there's a lot of quality of life things that they need to be working on as well in the game. But totally understand. So Ark, here's one for you in the message of the day for companies.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did you know that you can circumvent this by copying 3 letters, right? So go click on edit your company name, and you can type in the message, and you have to copy and paste 3 letters at a time into your message of the day. And so it will let you do it.
How I did that was I went into my settings, I unbinded
your buttons.
I unbinded all of my UI buttons.
Yeah. That's what it is. So, I mean, aside from that, there's multiple quality of life things that they could be working on, but obviously the server transfers clearly took priority. I'm not naive
like
to that.
getting people to play with their friends is currently the priority. I mean,
that's what an MMO is.
Exactly. And I don't know, like this is not so. At launch and up until launch, I was super like happy with everything they were doing, and I still love them. I'm enjoying the hell out of the game. I cannot drop it. I'm sort of addicted, but the way they are sort of scrambling solutions together since launch is not giving too much confidence, unfortunately. It's a bit chaotic. Now
it seems like a lot of knee-jerk reactions to issues.
It is.
It's oh shit, this sorry.
They're a first-time
this
game company. Yeah,
quick.
this is what's going to happen, right? When a first-time company, even with experienced developers and networkers and database folks happens, there's going to be questions. There's going to be oops with knee jerks, right? This is because they haven't done this at any level before as a group.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're doing, honestly, I think this game is fantastic. Yes, there's issues that they're going to have to figure out. And I think the guild thing, they'll figure a way around it once they realize it's a problem. I don't even know if they know it's a problem yet.
Yeah, they may not.
They may see the transfer as a solution.
If you
but
read
how do
through,
we know they know the guild thing?
That's I don't know. Like, that's one of the things that I got into arguing with people on Twitter again. I'm like, they probably don't realize, if they made this decision, they are not aware of all the possible scenarios, because, as you said, these are knee-jerk solutions.
Right.
And people are like, how do you know they are not thinking? How do you know they didn't think about it? Because I've been there. I didn't think some of the stuff like this. Like, it happens.
Been there, done that, right?
I've been there. I've done stupid shit while I was, working on a game like, not like New World, but it's still, it was major
regardless
gaming.
Of game.
Yeah. And you deal with the bugs that come up. You deal with the defects. You put them in the right order. You get a priority. There's a whole process to follow. And that's going to work. You just got to give them time. I know people say, we'll just throw more people at it. Well, that's not the way it works. You have
especially
people who
in this
are
time of year.
Yeah, you have people who are experienced developers who are experienced in New World, right? Just because you worked on Warcraft doesn't mean you're going to do New World right away. You got to have some training time, some moving time. So you've got a set amount of folks who can fix the problems. So they're going to figure out, how do we put them in the right priority order to get things solved, to get things moving. That's going to happen.
They have a laundry list.
Give them a little time. I'm sure they have a huge list. They probably have a list with 3 times as long that we don't know about.
Yeah. The problem is, like, the main problem is they are kind of making it looks like panic decisions, right? So that's gonna come back with more problems in the long run. I mean, just this example. Like, okay, we are going to give you, server transfers. And then they're like, yeah, we are going to give you server transfers, but not the way you thought we would. Like, it's just think everything through. Just think everything through before you make decisions. Consider every scenario. Whoever's making these decisions, let them on Twitter to see what people want, or other social media outlets, or your forums.
Just don't give your name out.
Just don't give your name out. If you don't want death.
It almost feels like they come up with a solution, right? There's some guy or gal in the office that was like, we got server transfers done, and he or she's running down the hallway like, we did it, release it. And then they didn't really take the time to sort some things out, brainstorm, come down together and be like, okay, well, is this going to work? Is this going to work?
It's been a
and they're a new studio, or newer studio, not a new studio.
Yeah.
So I know they're going to figure this out. Right. But, Spectinator they're not using a precision tool, right? They're just, they're hammering it and trying to, squash it real quick. And is it creating another issue?
And they are going to figure it out, as you said, but how many people or companies will lose interest in the game during that time? Like, if they don't figure this out within the next week, my brother's gone. He's going to stop playing, because the whole reason dude got the game is to play together. And if he can't, he's going to be like, what am I doing here then on my own in a random server, And that's going to be the same for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of people that decided not to play it the first week because they knew it was going to be a mess, right? So there's 2 sides to it. And I know a number on, I could count on 2 hands that they were just not going to play it the first week. They owned it.
Yeah.
They went in, they started their character, and they're like, I'll wait till everything calms down.
I know people who got their vacation times like after a month of the release, not on the launch week, but like, I'm gonna just get my vacation, and once it dies down, sort of.
And why did they do that? Because they foresaw some of these issues, right? That you're gonna have at a game release.
Yep, you will, and especially one this successful.
Yeah. And we said it as well in the previous episodes. Like, the launch is gonna suck. There has never been a game who managed to have a smooth launch like this.
This has not been as bad as others I've seen, but it's not been the best either.
The problem, I feel like the problem is they are kind of making it bad themselves by making panic decisions. Like
Well,
if they had waited after launching like a whole bunch of new servers and saying, okay, start somewhere, we are gonna give you server transfer, all done. Then wait. You know, wait until server stabilizes, but make sure you release that server transfer when people can actually join their friends. If they had just done that, instead of trying to rush it, instead of trying to rush it within the like 2 weeks, if they had just waited until the servers loads and everything balanced out more, and then said, yeah, literally, as we said, you can transfer everywhere, this would have been worked out mostly fine.
So I'm going through something actually very similar at work, right? And those on the team know what the right thing to do is. The right thing to do is balance it out, wait, let some things stabilize, put them out a little bit, slow it down, let's get this right. But we're the team. Leadership, right? Executive leadership are the ones making the decisions. They're saying, no, you've got to get this much done in this much time. Tell me what you need to do it. That's all they're make it happen, right? Yeah. So I guarantee you, the VP of the studios and the decision makers are not the ones who know how games work.
Oh yeah, no.
They're 5 layers up, saying, "I want a date. I need to have a date. I need to have this happen."
We need server transfers now.
Yeah, we need server transfers now. You tell me what you need to do it. Do I need extra time? Tough. You need to get this done, and you need to get it done now. This is how software works, right? Those who know what to do are not the ones who are setting up the plans, the dates, right? Yeah. They'll set up the plan, but the ones who are setting the dates are the ones who don't know the details, who are only being driven by outside forces, incentives, etc., around
shareholders,
all other stuff. Exactly. That's what's driving all this going through. That's just the way it goes.
And like even when I was sort of on Twitter, like not lashing out, but criticizing New World through this last 2 weeks, like I sent out a tweet. Okay, this is shout out to all the backend people and the community team who is shouldering these series of bad decisions right now, because all those bad decisions that piled up, like not having enough servers at launch or server transfer issues, blah blah blah. The community team and the backend team is taking the bulk of the hate off for no reason. Like, it's not their fault. It's just that they do their job according to the specs that were giving to them. The community team relays the information as it was giving to them. You know, somebody said, it's not like community team said, I'm sure the backend team will handle it like this. Let's send out a tweet saying that. No, someone told them, okay, yeah, we are going to give server transfers and everyone's going to be able to play anywhere they want. And they tweeted that out. And now people are like, screw you, you lied to us. It's like, no, that guy doesn't have any control over it. He's... honestly, it's a mess. But I just hope... I just hope they see the backlash to this decision and take a breather. Like, take a breather. Okay, slow down, calm down. Just take a step back.
Toward Halloween.
Yeah, just take a step back. Say to people, okay, we are gonna roll out the solution slowly. Let's not panic. You know, it's gonna take time. There will be
I have a feeling if they do an in-game event for Halloween and the server transfers aren't figured out, they're gonna catch a lot of heat for that.
Ooh. They are. Yeah, they are.
That too.
Well, they've said figured out. The way we want them versus they want them is a different story. Right?
You're right.
So,
You're right.
Yeah, if it's figured out the way they're going to do it, then there's going to be a big issue anyways.
I mean, to be honest, they gotta do, all they gotta do is remove that server full thing, and just let people transfer wherever the hell they want.
Then you're going to have
it'll work itself out.
Oh, it will, but then you're going to have queues again, and then they're going to go.
You're going to have queues, right? No matter what, though. If that server is going to have, like, if Valhalla is going to have queues, Valhalla is going to have queues, whether or not if you allow server transfers to Valhalla or not, because Valhalla already has way too many people before they even put that character thing cap on. So this is not gonna, like, not letting people transfer to, I don't know, for example, let's say Alastor capped out at 5,000, there's like 5,500 people on it. That's not gonna change if you let people go in and out too much. It's gonna only affect the servers with streamers on, which are already done for anyway. That's...
Right. I mean, so they're making a choice, and I don't know. I don't like their choice, but it's going to make.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just because they're making a choice, it's not going to stop me from criticizing the hell out of that choice.
Oh, no, absolutely. Go ahead. Feel free. I got no issue with that.
Yeah, it's...
None whatsoever.
And I'm going to push for what I think right. And that's the whole point of the show, in my opinion. Like, if we weren't passionate... We ran into this issue a lot on Tales of Tarnmila as well, as you guys know. Like, we criticize the game, we criticize what we think wrong, and people are like, you are hating on the game. We are only criticizing stuff because we are passionate about it. If we didn't love the thing, if we weren't passionate about the thing, we wouldn't bother thinking like potential solutions or be upset about potential mistakes, because who the hell cares if then? The only reason we care and talk about it this much is because we care. Did I say that twice? Well, you get what I'm trying to say.
3 times. That's okay.
It's okay.
I mean, I wish they would be a little bit more specific in their statements, right? I get it.
Yeah.
They're Amazon. They have lawyers that they don't want the potential to be backed into a corner. I get it. But I just wish when they made that statement that they will be reviewing servers to whether they're going to release them or not from being locked due to capacity. What does that mean? How often are they reviewing this? What is the parameters for it? I just wish that they would be a little... I just want to know a little bit more. Like, I think they just need to release the locking the full servers. And I understand it's going to create another issue, but it all goes back to they did release server transfers. It wasn't how we interpreted the information. But I just don't think, as an MMO player playing since the early 2000s, I just don't feel that this is doing the players justice, right? It's going to drive down player numbers.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to continue... Like, we already leveled multiple times to... have that erased, like closed betas, preview events, things like open beta.
I'm finally past 30. I'm not going back.
Yeah, it's like this is the 4th time I leveled past 30 in this game, and if I have to, like, I mean, our company is mostly here. We are only missing a few people who cannot join our server. But
we've got a couple as well. Yeah. Imagine
having to do that again. Like.
No.
Actually, wait, you can't even. You can't even, because even if you create a new character, you won't be able to create on that server. So you are legit completely stuck. Like, if people don't mass migrate away from your friend's server, there is the game literally gives you no way, as it sounds right now, to play with your friends ever again. You are like, no, you're stuck. That's it for you.
And then she'll decide to go to an empty server. I don't understand, because my wife's on one server, the guild's on another server. So I'm doing a character on both, right? So, because when I want to play with her, I'd like a level 15. If I play with the guild, I like level 35. I can never put them in the same server, right? So it's like, I've got to just keep doing both.
That's actually another thing.
It could be even higher.
I think if they wanted to appease the player base for the server transfers, I think what they should do is just, hands up, hey, we screwed up for this 1 week, date starting time here and ending here. Transfers are transfers. Go where you need to go, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then we'll make a statement shortly after saying, from that point moving forward, here are the limiting factors for a server transfer.
Exactly. And like that would also give
playing with their friends.
Yeah.
That would also allow people to see what happens. Like, if, as you said, if you let full server transfers, if the queue time suddenly became 5 hours long again, then people would go, okay, maybe this was a bad idea. Let's go out of here.
Maybe.
You know, just let people see themselves. But
Right.
let them see.
And they have the analytics. They know what the numbers are, how many people are waiting. I'm sure they have a lot of data.
Analytics, yeah.
So, okay, do you then try and focus all your efforts again on server transfer and trying to balance, or do you try to work on player cap?
Like this,
right? If 80% of your servers are 300 or less person queue, okay, maybe we ought to try and work on server cap, you know, and boost it up, 350.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are so many things they can do. Going out with a restriction like this was probably one of the worst things they could do.
Probably
and
not
they chose that. They chose that. I don't know. We'll see.
And I speak as, increasing server caps like flipping a switch, right? I know it's a lot more than that. But
So Spankin' had a good point, right? So because of all this, are the reviews on Steam getting worse?
Oh,
right?
could be.
Probably.
Actually, I haven't checked
Right now,
that in
they're
a
at
while.
70%. I don't know. Is that mostly positive? I'm sure there's a way to find one game somewhere that can tell us what the trend is for the reviews. There are 99,296 reviews.
I'm gonna check that
70%.
actually after the show.
So there's got to be a way.
Day 2, it was mostly negative.
Yeah. So
I
it might
did
be
look.
getting better. It might be getting better. So yeah, I would like to follow up on that and respond to that next week and think that one through, because that's
And,
going to help us with all that.
A lot of the players are probably still not aware of the update on the server transfer details. Because they don't check forums, they don't check Twitter and things like that. So once they make it public and everybody knows about it, yeah, then we'll see the real effects of it, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to come back next week and see what the trend is.
Definitely, let's save that up for next week. And I'll even send out a poll. I actually been sending out some polls on Twitter and having fun with the community. And do you have anything else to add on this? I feel like we covered everything we can cover on this controversy for the entire episode too. Actually, wait, how long have you been live? Yeah, 56 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think, Sivan, you got a hard stop, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I can go over a couple minutes.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
We'll make sure you're okay.
I was just gonna say, if you have time, we can talk about like how the past week has been for us, sort of like what I've been up to, things like that. As in line with our classic way of podcasting. So, Sivian, how's the past week have been for you? Hands of Fate, the company, the wars. What have you been up to?
So short of wars, we haven't. There's a pretty big company on our server that has been able to lock down a lot of the positions.
Yeah.
But we haven't really been in too many wars. Company wise, we're upwards of, in the 40s, shy of 50 for a couple people. But I've been noticing, in-game recruitment. I mean, a lot of people just out soloing, questing around. And, I'm the type of player that I'll run over, help them. Right. And chances are I probably doing the same quest. And I'll just start chatting with them and invite them. But internally, I mean, we've had a lot of activity in the Discord, the company, the guild. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast. Right now, I think I just hit 33. I found out I have some weird addiction to gathering. I can't stop. It's ridiculous. I literally have the mindset to go out and quest and level up and grind. And it's like, oh, Life Blossom. Just go run over, grab that.
Yep.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Wolf, I need hide. So I did buy a house recently. I was really looking forward to getting into some of those perks with the trophies and the storage, adding storage to your town, because I'm out of it completely because I gather everything. So I've been having a blast, and I'm level 130 in logging. So I stopped.
Well, there you go.
I stopped logging for a while.
No,
Yeah.
you can't stop your addictions.
I mean, this game is turning everyone into sort of like golden retrievers who have seen, I don't know, a squirrel or something, just like focused on that squirrel. Right? Oh no.
Well, every time I try to run somewhere, I'm slowed down because I've got to hit 200 skinning, right? So I'm at like 198. So I'm like stopping and shooting and skinning and stopping and shooting and skinning.
Yeah.
And they just keep going at that. I just can't stop. I got 2 more to go. And then I'll hit 200. I don't know what I get for 200, but I'm going to hit 200.
Yeah.
And then I got to work on furniture making and the other stuff. So there you go.
Have you guys been in any wars, defending or attacking?
Can't get into anything.
Oh,
one of the reasons I wouldn't mind moving to a different server, right? Where you didn't have companies that take over the entire war effort, right? So, because I haven't been able to get into, well, A, not heavy and high enough, but nothing whatsoever, right?
It still feels bad.
It does.
I'm just waiting for, everybody to be level 60. And then it's going to turn into, if you want to get into the war, you need to pay us 5,000 gold.
That's what's going to happen.
Oh.
Oh,
interesting. Yeah. I mean, at the moment in our server, our video audience can see this because I have the game running in the background too. As Covenant, we are the underdogs, like hard. We only have 2 zones versus everybody else is up to 4. So we are in every war almost. Like every war, there's 5 or 6 of our company because right now, Covenant is not finding enough people to fight, really. So, for example, there is a war tonight at Restless Shore. And we have a really nice community. Like, we are communicating with them and sort of keeping each other up to date on things we are doing. But it's been... I like that we are underdogs because it means a lot of action. Like, this is, by the way, a lot of this is a single company. It's a Russian streamer, I believe, that we stumbled on. We did our best to avoid any streamers, but we found one. And then there is another big community, I believe, in syndicates as well. Army of the Coin or something like that. So they've been, Army of the Coin 1, Army of the Coin 2. So they've been holding some territory. So yeah, it's a lot of wars. We haven't dared going to a war of our own yet, though, but we are getting there. We are getting there. I wanna capture a zone from the green. So we'll see how that goes.
Syndicate's pretty powerful on ours.
Yeah.
That's what we are.
I would like to just do some general PvP. Just haven't gotten around to it yet.
We've been doing a lot of that too, because we are trying to keep the zones that we have. So every time we see that influence of as another company is just like going up, we just gather up and roll out in PvP mode to counter that influence. So we don't go into conflict state and potentially lose the zone. So it differs a lot from server to server as far as I can see, though.
It does. It does.
I don't know how they're going to balance that in the end. That could be a whole episode that we can do once we get some more, like, war experience between the three of us.
Once I get any. Any would be good.
Yeah. Because right now, I don't know how they are going to balance 3 factions. It feels like it's going to balance between the 2 all the time, but who knows?
Well, the only balance between the factions is that if the one faction owns more territories than the others, you cannot transfer to that faction.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the only balance that I'm aware of.
Yeah. But for the trophies, those are pretty good. I do have 1 trophy in the house for gathering. I want to get a second one in for probably mining. But the minor trophy, not the major. Yep. And that stacks on the other stuff you have. So they're like, I can't make them yet. So they're about 800 to 1,000 per trophy to put into a house, right?
Same with the storage chests.
Right.
I saw one for 8,000 coin.
Oh, wow. That was a lot. The small one was 800. The whatever one, which I can almost make, but I think I can within a couple, probably tomorrow I'll be able to. But to me, I've been having fun with taking the house, especially being able to reset your travel timer, right?
That's,
for like 39 era.
Well, people need to know.
When you're in a house, right, or 2, whatever you have, you can call a transfer, but you have a 2-hour to 4-hour wait time depending on how big the house is. But you have the ability to reset that timer for a small cost in Azeroth. I've seen it between Well, usually it's typically 39 AROF, right? So that's cheaper than a lot of transfers across to different places, especially if you have a lot of stuff.
I wonder
So
if
what I'm
it's
doing
based
Go
on
ahead.
the time left. Like, is it
No,
90 something? It's not.
I've done it in 5 minutes, right? I've done one and done it again because it went somewhere else, got to come back, right? So that's why I want to have a second house. Right now, one house, the smallest, is in Monarch's Bluff. So I'm going to get the smallest house in whatchamacallit.
Weaver Sven, maybe?
No,
Brightwood?
Brightwood. There's
Brightwood,
the name of it. So I'm going to have one toward the bottom and one toward the top so that I can make them that sort of a transfer. And if I need to, then just transfer a short hop using the fast travel. But being able to reset it is fantastic.
I didn't know that, and now I do want a house, yeah.
You have a house, and so if I have two houses, and then I have the inset at another one, then I have 3 places I can transfer to. The only one that I can't reset the timer is the inn.
Yeah.
So then I have 3 of them where I can go to if I need to jump somewhere else. And you can set in the trading store, which I like, right? The ability to do a place sell orders or just find an open buy order. And you can select, show me all the places at once. So I can fulfill a sell order in Brightwood if I'm in Monarch's Bluff.
You can? I didn't know that.
I can't sell over there. I can't sell over there, but I can fulfill a sell order. So what I've been doing, instead of putting my stuff up for listing, I just check the sell orders. If everybody wants it, I'll sell it. If not, I'm going to salvage it or get rid of it or whatever. I went to 2,000 coin. I made 2,000 coin between yesterday and today, or the day before and yesterday, just by placing sell orders.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good to know.
So that was a good way to do it. So I don't have to jump to another city to place a sell or to fulfill a sell order.
Yeah. Which is what I've been doing to even check the things that I can sell. So
So I'm about 500 short of the second house.
Nice.
So I'm going to get that one hopefully today.
The landlord. Storms.
There you go. Let's go. Gonna have one in Brightwood,
He's not gonna start
one in Monarch Bluffs, you know.
Yeah, start renting out the houses.
Which brings me to another topic. I wish, and I know they said they're going to bring it on, and we can get into this next week, but the company aspect of things, right? I wish there was like a company hall or like a company house.
There needs to be a lot, right? Yep.
Shared storage, and you can have bigger trophies, right? That allow all the company members to have a perk.
I wish there was company anything like
or company messages.
There's something that's true. There's something to do with company in a house, and I don't know what it is yet. I think it's if you come to a house and somebody in your company has that house,
you can go into it. You can prioritize going into it.
Right. You can go into it, right? So what they have to do next is, okay, you can easily find a company member's house. Now, if we can have a shared storage chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Because right now, what you can do is view your storage, right? So that would help if you could have that.
I mean, right now, for example, if you're preparing for a war, you have to, and you have like someone who can cook a really good food, right? He has to trade to 50 people individually.
No, he has to trade. He has to trade with at most 12 people.
Yeah, well,
because you then have them trade to 12 people, then you have that, right? So boom, 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 right? But
still, you get what I mean.
All right, guys, I gotta jump. I gotta take
let's,
off. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We are shooting over time as well.
It's his
let's wrap
duty,
it up.
so that's okay.
Yeah.
Ark wants to play anyway, so
I've been playing in the background this time. It's I'm going against my own podcasting codes here. If you have to jump off right away, Savine, you can. I'm gonna do the outro as usual.
You're good.
Okay, so I forgot how to do the outro for a second there. Company information. If you want to join Sivian and Storms here on the NA company, you can find their Discord link at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com/company_NA. If you want to join me on the EU side of things, you can find the company information, or rather Discord, on dungeoncrawlernetwork.com/company_EU. I made those links to make it easier to link and everything like that. You can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com, as I just said twice. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Discord. You can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork.com if you want to help support the show, although a lot of the benefits are going to go away once I get my times right. I have to update it because I'm no longer doing this full-time. You can also leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, which is the free way of perfectly supporting us, because it lets people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and we pop up in searches more. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this episode of the New World Compendium podcast, and we will see you all next week. Have a great, great day, everybody.
And everybody.